Hey guys, I just wanted to put an ad in this episode. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. One, it's free. There's a creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And I've tried it, and it's really easy to do. It's not as complicated or as difficult as you would think it would be. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Download the free Anchor app or go to your anchor.fm to get started. Hi guys, I just wanted to welcome you back to the next episode of the Dorsey podcast. Today we are going to be talking about worrying about being patient in the waiting for what it is that God has for you, for what it is that God wants you to have, but He is making you wait. He is making you patient in the waiting that He has for you. I hope you enjoy this podcast. I wanted to do a Q&A session for this episode, and one of the questions that I received, and it's in 3 different parts, so I'm going to break it up. And the first part of the question is, what season of your life has been the most challenging? Why? And what did you do to overcome that particular season? And I say, the season of my life that has been the most challenging is the season of singleness. And the why to that answer is because that's a desire in my heart to find a woman of God that He has for me. And I see all my friends going off and getting married and being with someone, and that's something that I want, that's something that I'm longing for, and that's something that I'm waiting for God to reveal to me, and hoping that one day He will allow me to find that woman of God that He wants me to be with. And I think the second part of why it's so hard is because I see my friends going off and getting married. I see them being in relationships, and that's something that, you know, as I said earlier, that's something that I want. That's something that I'm looking to have at some point in my life. Though at times in my life, I also look in the mirror and wonder, because of my disability and because of the way that I looked, you know, it comes to the point of, will someone really want to be with me? Will someone really want to love me because of the way that I look and because of the way that I speak sometimes? Will she ever truly be able to look beyond the outside and look to the heart of who I truly am? And how did I overcome that season is just trusting and knowing and believing that God has someone for me and waiting for that woman of God that He wants me to be with. The second question that I received was, who helped you the most while growing up? And I would definitely say that would be my parents. And if it wasn't for my parents, I wouldn't be the person that I am today, that they allowed me to live my life the way that I wanted to live and to figure out for myself what I could and could not do. And thankfully wasn't very much. Sometimes in life, waiting is the hardest thing for us to do at times because we become impatient. We don't have the patience to wait on things at times. We have the fast food industry where we go into the different restaurants like Burger King and McDonald's, and we can get food as, fast as 2 minutes, and sometimes we don't even want to wait that long, so we pick up a meal from the store and we put it into the microwave and we hit the 30 seconds on the microwave and we're done. We're ready for dinner that night. It may not even be dinner that we're waiting for. It may be that we're going somewhere. I travel around a lot and I hate getting into traffic. I hate waiting in traffic. It annoys me to have to sit in city traffic or even highway traffic, sometimes 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes even longer at a time because we want to get to our destination. We want to get to the place that we're wanting to go. Sometimes we have to sit in doctor's offices and we're upset, we're concerned about what the doctor is going to say, and we can't wait any longer for that doctor to tell us the test results that we had a few days before, and we're wanting to see what it is that the doctor is going to tell us, be able to do things better. I know for myself growing up, I had to go to the doctors on a regular basis, and I hated sitting in the doctor's offices waiting to see him or see her. And it's not only waiting on things or waiting on people, it's waiting on what it is that God wants to do in our lives. How is God going to do things in our lives? We get into situations and we cry out to God and asking Him, God, help us to get through this season in my life. Help me to get through this predicament that I got myself into in my life. And sometimes God doesn't always answer our questions right away. We have to wait on Him. We have to wait on His answer for our lives. Or even, in the hospital waiting to go for that operation, waiting to have my next operation on my hands or on my face to look better and to feel better, and to some of the stories in the Bible where we see the situation of waiting is Jacob was waiting for Rachel. And it says in Genesis 29:18, since Jacob was in love with Rachel, he told her father, I'll work for you for 7 years if you give me Rachel, your younger daughter, as my wife. So Jacob wanted to marry Rachel, yet he was willing to wait for 7 years in order for him to marry Rachel and take her as his daughter. Yet nowadays we date a woman, or the woman dates the guy, and after several months they start, dating, and after, several more months they're engaged, and, 4 or 5 months after that they're married. And one of the other stories is Joseph was waiting for a number of things. We know that Joseph was sold off by his brothers in slavery, so he was waiting for vindication. He was waiting for justice and freedom, and he was waiting to see his dreams fulfilled, and he was waiting to be reunited with his family, especially his father. And we can read his story in Genesis chapter 37 through 46. Though sometimes we don't always see that justice served in our own lifetimes, and we don't always have that own outcome in our own lives when we are wronged. We don't see the consequences of what people have done against us being fulfilled. So that doesn't mean that God is any less just or unfaithful to us. We also see that Mary, the mother of Jesus, was waiting to see the fulfillment of what the angel told her on the night that the angel told her that she was going to have a baby that would eventually become the Messiah. So she had to wait to see that fulfillment come to fruition. We also see that Jesus was waiting to start his own ministry, and of course he's still waiting to return to us. So it's not just us that are waiting. It's not just us that are waiting to see what God is going to do in our own lives. We see people from the Bible that were waiting as well. And maybe you're still waiting. Maybe you're waiting for that wife, for that husband, or for that promotion at your job. Or you're going on that interview and you're waiting to see if that boss or that manager, whoever interviewed you, calls you back to see if you received that job. Or maybe you're waiting for that healing, and you're praying each day for God to heal you from that illness that you are fighting. And you're going to the doctors and you're going for the treatments, but you're still waiting for that healing. Sometimes God wants us to wait. He wants to teach us to wait. He wants us to mature in our waiting. He wants to mature us in our waiting to make us more like Him, to make us more like the man of God that He wants us to be. Obviously, it's hard to wait. It's hard to be patient in that waiting. But I want to encourage you that there's a reason to wait. There's a reason that God wants us to wait. Because God has something greater in store for our lives. And God has a reason and a plan and a purpose to teach us in the waiting season that He has us in at the moment. I wanted to thank you guys for joining me on this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, leave a comment, leave a message. And I would appreciate if you guys checked out my website, checked out my Facebook page, follow me on Instagram, on Facebook. And I hope you guys come back. Next time I'm planning on having a special guest. So come back and enjoy the podcast. God bless.